reading chapter 6, verses 17 to 20. This is actually a very beautiful passage because it talks about God's plan to save humans and animals, about the new world, the paradise that God is preparing for us according to the prophecies of the Bible. So let's read these verses and let's examine them carefully. So here they are. And the beasts of the field had respect for him, and the birds of the air were in no fear of him, for he made them not afraid. Yes, even the wild beasts of the desert perceived the power of God in him, and did him service, bearing him from place to place. For the spirit of divine humanity filling him filled all things around him, and made all things subject to him. And thus shall yet be fulfilled the words of the prophets. The lion will lie down with the calf, and the leopard with the kid, and the wolf with the lamb, and the bear with the ass, and the, here a word is missing, with the dove, and the child will lead them. And no one will hurt or destroy in my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Holy One, even as the waters cover the bed of the sea. And in that day I will make again a covenant with the beasts of the earth, and the fowls of the air, and the fishes of the sea, and with all created things, and will break the bow and the sword, and all the instruments of warfare I will banish from the earth, and I'll make them to lie down in safety, and to live without fear. And I'll betroth you to me forever in righteousness and in peace and in loving kindness. And you will know your God, and the earth will bring forth the corn, the wine, and the oil. And I'll say to them who were not my people, you are my people, and they'll say to me, you are our God. So these are the verses. Let's examine them. So it says that the beasts of the field, animals, had respect for Jesus, and the birds of the air were in no fear of him, for he made them not afraid. And even the wild beasts, the wild animals of the desert, perceived the power of God in him, and they did him service, following him from place to place. So animals could understand that he loved them, that he cared for them, and he didn't feel threatened by him. He felt secure with him, and they trusted him. They had no fear of him. So he knew how to behave towards them to win their trust. We read in the previous verses that Jesus loved animals, and he studied their ways of communicating and their behavior. He knew their languages, so he knew how to approach them and how to show them love and affection and be accepted by them. And even the wild animals were not aggressive towards him, but they followed him, and they were friendly to him like dogs. And it's really amazing, but it's not impossible. Actually, I remember once I had seen on TV a program about a man who could communicate with lions. He had dedicated his life to study their behavior, and he knew how to approach them and to be accepted by them. So, for example, he went to the jungle and he met the lions that were wild and had no contact with humans before, and he behaved in such a way that he made them understand that he was well-intentioned, that he loved them, and they accepted him in their group, and instead of attacking him, They were affectionate to him, and he cuddled them, he stroked them, and it was really unbelievable. I saw that with my own eyes, and I was very impressed. Of course, not everybody can do that. If an ordinary person goes there, they will probably eat him. But if a person knows how to approach those animals and to show them that he's not afraid of them, that he is well intentioned, animals can feel our feelings. They can sense if we're good or bad, and if we love them or if we hate them. Some animals are more friendly than others. For example, dogs are usually friendly with people. But even dogs, if they see a strange person who behaves in an unusual way or is aggressive towards them, they feel threatened and they start barking or they go to hide. And other animals are more easily scared. Like for example, birds. It's very difficult to win their trust, and you need to show them that you care for them by treating them well every day, by feeding them, by being kind to them. And if they understand that you love them, they are not afraid of you anymore. So even birds can become very tame and very affectionate. And I know this by experience because I have pigeons as pets. And they're so affectionate and so faithful to me, like cats and dogs. They even know their names, and they like being cuddled and stroked. They respond when I call them. So it's really amazing that animals can understand so much, and they can feel who loves them. And if you treat them well, they're very grateful to you for all their lives, and they're kind to you for all their lives. They do not change feelings, they never betray you. They're true friends. They're very stable. And so we read here that Jesus could communicate with animals and he could win their trust. And it also says here that for the spirit of divine humanity filling him, filled all things around him, and made all things subject to him. So they could also feel his authority. They could feel that he was special, that he was the Son of God. They could perceive the spirit of divine humanity in him. The spirit of divine humanity, because Jesus was both human and divine at the same time. His body was completely human like ours, and his spirit was the Son of God, the incarnated Word of God, as it is written in the New Testament. So his spirit was a part of God. He came from God, and he was a reflection of God, as it's written in the Bible, that Jesus was the exact representation of God's image. And he reflected all the qualities of God. So he was, let's say, a perfect representative of him, of the invisible God. And even animals could sense his authority. They could feel that he was a king, the king of the universe, the Son of God. And they had respect for him. They were not aggressive to him. They didn't attack him. They treated him well. And then it says, and thus shall yet be fulfilled the words of the prophets. So in this way, in a similar way, the words of the prophets are yet to be fulfilled, will be fulfilled in the future, are not fulfilled yet, but they will when the time comes. And then we read a prophecy. This is actually prophecy of Isaiah in the Old Testament that says, the lion will lie down with the calf, and the leopard with the kid, and the wolf with the lamb, and the bear with the ass, and with the dove, and the child will lead them. So this is a prophecy that says that animals in the new world that God will create will be completely harmless and innocent. They will not attack one another, and they will not attack humans either. They will be as they were in the beginning when God created the world, as we read in Genesis, because God in the beginning He had created animals and humans to be vegetarian, so nobody killed anybody, there was no cruelty of any kind. So this is how it will be again in the new world. It says that the lion will lie down with the calf. It will not attack the calf. The leopard with the kid. It will be friendly with the child, affectionate to it, not aggressive. The wolf with the lamb. They'll be friends instead of enemies. The bear with the ass and with the dove. All animals and humans will live in peace and in harmony. There will be no hostility between them, and it will be wonderful because this is the will of God for nature. Nature now is not as God wanted it to be. Nature became corrupted and overcome by evil. After the fall of man, nature became, let's say, corrupted and became conquered by wickedness and evil and cruelty. So we see all these horrible things happening in nature. For example, the laws of nature are really unfair and cruel. For example, according to the laws of nature, the strong destroys the weak, and there is no mercy, no compassion. And there is also selfishness in nature. Each species tries to survive even at the expense of other species, and the individual doesn't count at all. What counts is the species as a whole. So, for example, a lion attacks a little deer, and even though the deer is innocent and defenseless, the lion tears it to pieces alive and has no compassion for it, no mercy. And the little deer doesn't deserve to have such a tragic end. But this is nature. Nature is not fair, it's not just, it's just cruel. And I'll just say it again, and I'll say it very clearly, that the laws of nature are not the laws of God, are not according to the will of God, because nature is not anymore as God wanted it to be. And we read in these prophecies that in the future, in the new world, in the paradise that God will create, there will be no more cruelty, no more aggressiveness. So it will be really wonderful to see these things, to see animals living together in harmony and being friendly to each other and to humans, and there will be no fear. Humans and animals will feel secure, they'll not feel threatened by one another. And the child will lead them. They will be so harmless that even a little child will be able to lead the lions and to play with them. It's really great just to imagine it. And it says that No one will hurt or destroy in my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Holy One, even as the waters cover the bed of the sea. So nobody will hurt or destroy in this paradise, in this new world that will be like a holy mountain that will dominate, because the mountain prevails in a flat area. So this new world, this new system that will be full of God's righteousness will prevail, and the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Holy One, even as the waters cover the bed of the sea, as the water covers the earth. So the world will be full of the knowledge of God, because His good qualities will be reflected in nature. For example, today many people see all these horrible things that happen in the world, and they lose their faith, and they doubt if God exists, because they say how it is possible that God exists and He loves us, but all these terrible things happen in the world. We hear about cruelty, murders, people abusing children, and so many horrible things happening. And people cannot believe that there is a loving God, because they say, if God exists, why has He abandoned us? Why does He allow all these terrible things happening? But actually it's not God who causes all these horrible things. All these things are caused by humans, by their wickedness, by their injustice and cruelty. They're not from God, and God doesn't want these things to happen. God is more sad than us when these horrible things happen, and He doesn't interfere because He respects our freedom. He created us to be free and to do whatever we want, and to suffer the consequences of our actions. And our actions have consequences in the lives of other people. So what we do affects other people in the world, and if we do good things, we're a good influence in the world, and if we do bad things, we're a danger in the world. And so God allows all these things to happen because He respects our freedom. Otherwise we would be robots if God intervened all the time and He stopped us from doing the things that we want to do. So He even allows evil people to do the evil things they want to do. But one day, according to the prophecies, will be judgment, and each person will get what his actions and what his or her actions deserve. And only the good people will have the eternal life and go to live in this new world that God is preparing, according to the Bible. So the evil people will have no place in this new world. And so God is going to restore the world. He's going to correct it, to destroy all evil when the time comes. But He will let humans destroy this world. When humans destroy this world, God will create a new world, a new one that will be according to the prophecies that we read here. And then we'll see the difference. We'll see God's system compared to the system of humans, which is imperfect and full of evil. So, anyway, let's read the following verses. It says that in that day I will make again a covenant with the beasts of the earth and the fowls of the air and the fishes of the sea and with all created things. So God will make a covenant, an agreement of love and peace and eternal life with all created things, as it says here. with the beasts of the earth, the animals, the fowls of the air, birds, the fishes of the sea, sea creatures, all created things. So God is going to save all nature, not only humans, but all his creatures. And this is in accordance with the, let's say, with the teachings of the New Testament that we have today. So we see that the Gospel of the Holy 12 is actually in agreement with the teachings of the official New Testament. For example, I'm going to read for you a verse that is written in Romans chapter 8 verses 19 to 26. This verse is found in the official New Testament. It talks about the salvation of nature. So here it is, I'm reading it for you now. For the creation awaits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. For the creation was subjected to futility, not by its own will, but because of him who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to decay, and obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now, and not only the creation, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope, for who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. So this is a verse in the New Testament, and it is in agreement with the verses that we read in this Gospel here, the Gospel of the Holy 12. And there are a lot of verses in the Bible that talk about God's love for animals. I'm going to read a few more verses. I'll read, for example, a verse from Ecclesiastes that says that animals and humans have the same spirit. So I'm going to read it for you now. It is from the Old Testament. Ecclesiastes, it's chapter 3, verse 18. So it says, I said in my heart, with regard to human beings, that God is testing them to show them that they are but animals. For the fate of humans and the fate of animals is the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They all have the same breath, and humans have no advantage over the animals. And then in another verse it says, who knows whether the human spirit goes upwards and the spirit of animals goes downwards to the earth? So the spirit of humans and the spirit of animals, it says that there is no difference, that humans have no advantage over the animals. They all have the same breath, the breath of God that gives life, the same spirit. And who knows if after death they go to different places or if they go to one place. So this is the meaning. And what is this breath that says here that they all have the same breath? This is the breath of life that is written in Genesis that God gave to Adam. Let's read this verse as well. So let's read Genesis chapter 2 and verse, I'll try to find it. Okay, verse 7, chapter 2 verse 7, Genesis. Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. So this breath of life is the same that animals have as well. It says that humans and animals have the same breath, the same soul. And this is very important. And God cares for all his creatures. And even animals can have feelings like humans because they also have a soul. They can feel pain, they can feel love, they can feel fear. They can feel affection for their little ones, jealousy, all sorts of feelings, hatred, even the bad feelings that we have. They also have them. They even have our weaknesses. So humans and animals have the same spirit, and God is going to save all of them in the new world. And let's read more about this new world that God promises. So it says that, and I will break the bow and the sword and all the instruments of warfare I will banish from the earth, and I'll make them to lie down in safety and to live without fear. So this is the covenant of God, his promise to them, to all of us, that we live in peace and without fear. There will be no war anymore. He will destroy all the instruments of warfare, as it says here, the sword and the bow, and wars are against the will of God. So all wars are bad. They have devastating effects. They cause pain, they cause poverty, death, mourning, and it's really very sad when there is war and people feel threatened and they cannot even go out of their house. It's really terrible. They feel insecure. They don't know if they live another day. And some people get injured and they become disabled for all their lives. A lot of innocent people die, even little children, which is so unfair. And all wars are bad. People say that some wars are justified, but either they're justified or unjustified. They're all bad and they have terrible consequences. And in my opinion, no war is justified. People should be civilized enough to be able to find better ways of resolving their problems and their differences instead of killing and destroying one another. So God doesn't want wars, and in the new world, wars will have no place. There will be peace and security. There will be no death, no crying. And then it says, I will betroth you to me forever in righteousness and in peace and in loving kindness, and you will know your God. So we'll be united with God forever, like a husband is united to his wife. And marriage for God has a very important meaning. It is a unity between two people forever. Two people decide to share their lives and to care for each other for all their lives. This is the purpose of marriage. And so God compares his relationship to us to a marriage. And he says that we'll be married to him in righteousness and in peace and in loving kindness, and we'll know him. We'll know him as he is. We'll see how good he is. We'll have no doubts anymore about his existence or his love for us. He will show us his love every day. We'll see it with our own eyes. We'll feel it. We'll feel his presence. And it says that the earth will bring forth the corn, the wine, and the oil, so there will be prosperity. The trees will make fruits, plants will make seeds. There will be even wine, which symbolizes pleasure and joy. So all good things will be there for our enjoyment. And then it says, I'll say to them who are not my people, you are my people, and they'll say to me, you are our God. So the people who are not his people will be his people. Who are these people who are not his people? Actually, in the Old Testament, the people of God were Israel. The people who knew his will, who knew his laws. There were a lot of prophets in Israel who talked about God and revealed his commandments to people, and God was with them. But it says that the people who are not my people will be my people. So this means that even people who are not from Israel will be his people, people who will believe in him, even people from different nations, even people from different religions who don't know him, but they have him in their heart because they have a good heart, they have love in their heart. There are some people who don't know God, they don't believe in him because they didn't have an experience, a personal experience with him, or because nobody taught them about God, or because they grew up in countries where they had other religions, so they didn't know, they didn't have the opportunity to know the true God. So God has understanding for these people, and he will judge them according to their conscience and their heart. And all the good people, the people who are well intentioned, who are honest, sincere, the people who love righteousness, who try to follow their good conscience, who care for other people, who care for animals, who are the weak and defenseless, those people will find mercy from God, and he will adopt them. He will make them his people. Even people who didn't know him, who were not his people, maybe people who didn't go to church, and however they followed him, they honored him with their actions, they followed his will in their lives, even without realizing, without knowing it. They did the things that God likes. So these people will be saved. The people who are not his people will be his people, and they'll say to him, you are our God. They'll get to know him as he is. They'll see who he is, they'll see that he exists, and they'll see how kind and loving he is. And I really hope that all of us will be among those people, the people who will get to know God, who will, let's say, who will be part of this new world, this paradise that God will create according to the prophecies. And it's written, as I said before, in the Revelation, that we are waiting for a new earth and new heavens where righteousness dwells. And I don't know if this earth will be the same one that we live today, or a new planet. Some people believe that God is going to renew this earth. Other people believe that he's going to create a new world, a new universe. Nobody knows. These are mysteries, and it's not necessary to understand them completely. The important thing is to know that God is preparing something wonderful for the good people, for those who have him in their hearts, who have his love in their hearts. And so, as it is written in the New Testament, what the eye has not seen, what the ear has not heard, what the mind has not conceived, these are the things that God has prepared for those who love him. And I really wish that all of us will be among those people. And this is our hope. And as it says, in the New Testament, we are waiting for it patiently. And this is faith. Faith is a conviction about things we hope for but we cannot see. And let's keep this conviction, this hope for a better world, when there will be righteousness and peace, and evil will be no more. And this is really wonderful. It seems like a dream, but one day will be true, just like the other prophecies were fulfilled. The prophecies of the Old Testament about Jesus were fulfilled, so the other prophecies about the future will be fulfilled too. Soon or late, we don't know, but let's keep our hope for a better world. And this is our consolation if our life here is not so happy, if we cannot find the love we're looking for or the peace we're looking for. Let us wait patiently for this new world, where we will be rewarded for all the sufferings that we have in this life, and all the pain that we have here will be just a memory, and we live happily forever. Not only us, but the animals as well, and all the creatures of God who now suffer in the world because of humans' wickedness and cruelty. So they will also be saved, and they'll find consolation and joy in this new world. So this is it for today. It's really a wonderful passage that gives us hope. And there are no proofs, of course. There are no proofs about anything. Faith is not science. It's not something that we can prove with facts. It's just a hope. But there is a lot of evidence that strengthens our hope. And let's keep this hope. And it says in the Bible that those who hope in Him will never be shamed. So this is it for today. Bye.